Hey everybody, welcome back. We've got yet another update video for y'all, and it's about the new thing we've all been waiting to see, and I'm going to be pretty dang critical of it. It's rocket racing. But there was rumors about a month ago about how a new game mode was going to be coming in with the Rocket League IP called Rocket Racing or Rocket League Racing within Fortnite. That has been met with some backlash, some positive, some negative. People criticizing, like, why isn't this in Rocket League? Why are you getting rid of trading of this? Why are all these things going on? And I'm here to try to quell some of those answers. I'm here to provide some perspective and not just be the old man yells at clouds type mentality where people are upset about the changes that are going on. Like, people overall need to understand that Epic Games is obviously the owner of Rocket League, and Fortnite in particular makes them a lot of money. We've talked about the $6 billion range per year, and Rocket League is not quite that. Why is that in particular? I think a lot of us go lack of communication, lack of updates. There's not a whole lot of creativity. It's just new car, new map, new cosmetic, same old, same old. And when Rocket League was at its best was after free-to-play. We got a new influx of players. We had the knockout bash mode. We had new things coming into the game, which hasn't really happened in a long time. If it wasn't for Lethamyr and his creative maps, it feels pretty low-hanging. And part of the reason why that is two things. There's one, the concern that a lot of the developers that we know and love that are endemic to Rocket League have actually been working on Rocket Racing, and that takes them away from the development of Rocket League. To which I say, does it really, considering we haven't had anything in multiple years? I don't know. The other side of it too is Rocket League just quite frankly isn't capable of doing it. Like, UE3 is so outdated. It's spaghetti code, garbage mess, and implementing new things. We've even seen them try to put in new maps that the ball doesn't roll off the wall correctly, or just little things that should be play tested before it gets released. Little issues that just probably aren't going to be a thing if it comes out in UE3 because there's going to be templates and it's just easier to implement. So the difficulty is, again, as I reiterated in my video a couple days ago, it has to do with the lack of communication. People just want to know what the intentions are, what Rocket League is planning on doing, what is the direction Epic is trying to take. Those are the answers that people really want, and we're not getting those things, right? So the benefit of Rocket Racing, and we're going to show some footage, and I'm going to try to loop this and stuff so you guys can see it, is that this is built in UE5. My interest is when this comes out on the 8th is how much has been implemented, how much of the assets, how much of the features, how much of the gameplay stuff has been brought over and ported over. Because if it's built in UE5, that means it can be used for Rocket League 2 or whatever the heck they're going to call it, right? So the fact that they have some of these vehicle models, they have the OEM wheels and some of the other stuff that we've seen behind the scenes, I think is good. The other side of it too is if this is in pairing with the creative mode, right? If we have Rocket Racing, which has a rank system and a reason to play, which is great, that gets more people from the Fortnite free-to-play model interested in Rocket League. That trickle over is hopefully going to create some positivity. The other side of it is if there is a creative mode and the ability to go and build maps and new racetracks and all that kind of stuff, I think is going to provide some interesting things. Now, I was away when this all went down, when all the conversations about Rocket Racing came out. But this map kind of showcases some of the frustrations that people have had. There is references to Rocket League with Salty Shores and stuff of that nature, but they don't call it Boost. They call it something else. They don't, like, some of the terminology that they're using is not Rocket League endemic, which is a horse apiece. I think fans want it to be as much Rocket League as possible, but Epic has to try to make it as accessible as possible for their pre-existing fan bases as well. So it kind of goes back and forth in that regard. But I think primarily when you look at Rocket Racing, you are able to build it in a game that is built for the future with UE5. You have a free-to-play accessibility option. You have a rank system built in. And none of this was possible in Rocket League. You could not build what they're building in Rocket League. It's just not a thing that was going to happen. Personally and selfishly, I wanted there to be like a Rocket League Racing where it was basically like a Mario Kart clone, and then transfer all the IP in and utilize that and make it its own standalone game. That's personally what I wanted, but I understand that's kind of outside the realm of possibility. If they can do it within Fortnite, it feeds their narrative of continue to use it as a creative tool with their engine, and it makes sense. But I think it's early iterations. Like, I'm still pretty reserved. Like, by the time I put out this video, either Rocket League Racing or Rocket Racing will come out the next day or the day of when I put out this video. I'm interested to boot it up and just see what it looks like. One, what's the Twitch viewership going to be? How big is it going to be? What's the reception going to be like? How does it play? Like, is the rank system balanced? Like, that's the kind of stuff. We'll do a part 2 of Rocket Racing, I think, once I kind of get my feet wet and see what it looks like with gameplay footage. But as of right now, I think it's tough. But the positives are that they actually built it. All the time and effort into not having any new content for Rocket League, we got an entirely different game mode. And while, yes, it's not in your beloved Rocket League, it is using the Rocket League IP to build something that has its own standalone competitive system, which is great. It's like getting a new drop shot or a new snow day. It is a racing game mode variant. And while, yes, it's not in Rocket League, it is using the Rocket League IP. It also showcases some of the stuff that they have been able to port over from Rocket League to UE5, which is the thing I'm most interested in seeing. How much has been transferred over? That's what I want to see. But if it's a successful game mode and it gets people interested, maybe we'll finally see the player base go up for the first time in like 2 years. I'm really hopeful that this does some positive for it, but people being frustrated about how they took away trading for this and that, let's call it what it is. Psyonix was pretty greedy about trading in the first place. They could have done it through Steam. They could have done it for real money and transferable money. They didn't. They kept it to themselves within their own ecosystem. Whatever. But trade locked with purchasing a high dollar item that is locked to your account allows Fortnite to be as successful as it is, which allows them to do all these crazy marketing tools and branding and all the crazy stuff Fortnite gets that we don't. I mean, I've saw, was it Scissors, I think it was, who did all the like death map things. Look at the difference between you. Like, this is the Rocket League update versus the Fortnite update. Okay. It's a new car. Woo! And then you get dinosaurs and like a Lego mode. Hey, you get tournament rewards, more cosmetics, guys, if you keep playing the thing you're playing. Hey, here's a brand new racing game mode variant. And then they're like, yep, that's what we got. And then they're like, hey, you've got an entire universe of game opportunities through the creative mode. Whether you want to do racing, whether you want to do this, look at all these custom maps you can play. That's what we're trying to get into. Because if you thought about the thing that we've all been wanting with UE5, which is a creative mode for Rocket League where you can see a bunch of Lethamirs all putting out different content, that is the dream for us and what we're trying to get to. And unfortunately, it's not possible in the current game. It's just not. It's not. So we have to do something different. And while people are resistant to change, they don't like doing something different from what they used to. Just like, hey, we don't play on Steam anymore. We play on Unreal Launcher, which again, a lot of us don't like. It is what it is. We will adapt and we will adjust. So again, I have some reservations. I have some concerns, but I'm trying to see the positive of certain things. Despite the layoff, despite all the frustration, despite them taking away features, it is the big picture of what Fortnite is trying to do. And I think the number one thing is we just want to know what that is. We want to hear directly from the mouthpiece that is Epic, Psyonix, what their intentions are for the future. I don't think that changes. I don't think anybody's arguing against that, but it hasn't happened in a long time and it's going to continue to not happen. But there is a big picture that they have in place. They are working diligently on new things. What those things are, we're probably never going to find out. They're never going to tell us ahead of time. But the fact that stuff like this is happening is a good sign. It means they care about the IP. They're trying to build it for sustainability and long term. So I'm trying to remain positive despite all the negativity and all the frustration. The timeline is just more people just shooting us in the foot and pushing frustrations at the wrong thing despite being different departments or different ownership. Like, it's not the developer's fault. It's frustrating to see people I care about, people that I consider friends that I've known for 8 years that work hard on Rocket League, get backlash because their boss said, hey, we need you to work on the Rocket Racing thing. And they go, okay, that's my job, I have to. And then they get yelled at because like it's crazy to see. Either way, curious on what you guys think Rocket Racing is. We'll revisit this. Come by the stream, twitch.tv/Lawler. Launch day, we will be playing a ton of Rocket Racing, trying to hit that top rank because we sure as heck can't do it in Rocket League anymore. Maybe these old man hands still got some opportunity, and we're gonna channel our like F0 days. That's the play. Either way, appreciate you guys tuning into the video as always. If you want to stay up to date on news and all that kind of stuff, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.